You're 32. You've been working since you were like 22, maybe earlier. You've had jobs, maybe a couple of promotions, maybe even a salary that sounds decent when you say it out loud at a dinner party. And yet, somehow, at the end of every single month, your bank account looks roughly the same as it did when you were 24 and had no idea what you were doing. Maybe worse. You're not blowing money on crazy things. You're not irresponsible. You pay your bills, you show up, you work hard. And still, there's this quiet, uncomfortable feeling that something isn't adding up. And honestly, that feeling is worth paying attention to. My name is Threk, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why so many hardworking people find themselves financially stuck, not because they're lazy or careless, but because nobody ever explained the specific invisible patterns that keep income from turning into actual wealth. That's what this video is about. Not hustle. Not motivation, but the real structural reasons why working hard and building wealth are two completely different things, and what's quietly sitting between them. Because here's the thing most people don't want to hear. Hard work is necessary, but it is not sufficient. And the sooner you understand why, the sooner the frustration starts to make sense. Let's start with the first thing, which is what I call the income illusion. Most people in their late 20s and early 30s measured their financial progress by their income. They got a raise, so they feel like they're moving forward. They landed a better job, so surely they're building wealth now. But income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is water flowing into a bucket. Wealth is how much water stays in the bucket. And most people, most hard-working, well-intentioned people, have a bucket full of holes they've never actually examined. You know how it goes. Income goes up, lifestyle adjusts. The apartment gets nicer, the car gets newer, the subscriptions multiply, the dinners out become a habit instead of a treat. None of these things feel irresponsible in isolation. Each one is a perfectly reasonable upgrade. But collectively, they mean that every time you earn more, you also spend more, and the gap between income and wealth stays exactly the same, or gets wider. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. I just call it the reason people with good salaries still feel broke. The fix here isn't deprivation, it's awareness. Before the next raise lands, decide what percentage of it actually improves your life in a meaningful way and what percentage quietly disappears into upgraded habits you barely notice. Lock the rest in before you adapt to it. The second thing is something I think about probably more than is healthy, which is the difference between looking financially stable and being financially stable. There's a version of adulthood in your 30s that looks completely fine from the outside. Nice apartment, decent car, regular brunches, a gym membership you sort of use. And inside that version of adulthood, there's no savings buffer, no investment account, no emergency fund, just a collection of reoccurring expenses that have grown to fill every dollar of available income like a gas expanding to fill a room. And the brutal thing about this pattern is that it's socially reinforced. Everyone around you is doing the same thing, so it doesn't feel like a problem, it feels like normal adult life. But normal adult life at 32, statistically, means most people are one unexpected expense away from financial stress. A car repair, a medical bill, a job that disappears. The appearance of stability is not the same as actual stability, and confusing the two is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make in their 30s. The actionable shift here is to build a financial floor before building anything else. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a separate account that you don't touch. Not glamorous, not exciting, but it transforms your financial life from fragile to fundamentally different. Third, and this one's uncomfortable, is the time trade. Working hard usually means trading time for money, and there's nothing wrong with that at the foundation. But if the only way your income grows is by working more hours, taking on more clients, or grinding harder, then your earning capacity has a ceiling, and that ceiling is you. You are the bottleneck. You run out of hours before you run out of ambition. The people who break out of this pattern aren't necessarily more talented or luckier. They've just started building things that earn money without requiring their continuous direct input. An investment account, a side project that grows independently, a skill that creates leverage instead of just hourly value. I'm not talking about get-rich-quick stuff. I'm talking about the slow, boring, reliable process of building income sources that don't require you to physically show up for every dollar. At 32, the window for this is still wide open, but it doesn't stay open forever. Every year you delay building something that works without you, the harder the math gets. Fourth thing, and this one nobody talks about enough. The financial decisions you're making at 32 are almost always the result of money beliefs you formed before you were 20. The way your parents talked about money or didn't talk about it, whether wealth was something your household treated as attainable or as something that happened to other kinds of people, whether spending felt like comfort or whether saving felt like safety. These aren't just background details, they are the operating system running underneath every financial choice you make, and most people have never once examined them consciously. I had a moment years back where I realized I was unconsciously spending money every time I felt stressed, not on big things, just small stuff, consistently, reflexively. Coffee, random online purchases, a minor upgrade I didn't need. And I traced it back to a pattern I'd absorbed so early I didn't even know it was a pattern. Spending was how discomfort got managed in the house I grew up in. Recognizing that didn't fix everything overnight, but it explained a lot, and explanation is where change starts. The work here isn't financial, it's psychological. Ask yourself honestly, what does money feel like to me emotionally? Does saving feel like restriction? Does spending feel like reward? Does investing feel risky in a way that's out of proportion to the actual risk? The answers will tell you more about your financial situation than any budget spreadsheet will. Fifth thing, and this one's the simplest. Most people working hard at 32 have never actually looked at their full financial picture in one place. Not the general vibe, not the rough estimate, the actual numbers. What comes in, what goes out, what's saved, what's owed, what's invested. Written down, total, in one clear view. It's uncomfortable to do. That's actually why most people don't. But you cannot navigate somewhere you refuse to look at the map. And the weird thing is, once you see the full picture, even if it's a difficult picture, the anxiety often goes down rather than up, because vague financial dread is almost always worse than specific financial reality. Specific can be planned for. Vague just sits there and drains you. Being broke at 32 while working hard isn't a character flaw. It's the predictable result of nobody explaining how income, lifestyle, time, psychology, and financial visibility all interact. You weren't given a map. You were handed a work ethic and told that was enough. It's not enough, but it's a start. And if you take even one of the ideas from this video, track the full picture, build a floor, stop confusing income with wealth, and examine the beliefs underneath your decisions, you'll have done more for your financial future in one afternoon than a decade of harder grinding would have accomplished. The work isn't more effort, it's better direction. And you've already shown you're willing to work hard. Now, let's make sure it actually takes you somewhere.